All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, whereas that the AFC West is loaded now with Pro Bowl quarterbacks, teams know that they have to put pressure on these quality signal callers in order to win this division. And today, the Los Angeles Chargers upgraded their pass rush as they are getting Khalil Mack from the Chicago Bears. Now, in exchange for Mack, the Chargers are sending a second round pick this year, as well as a sixth rounder to Chicago. Now, Mack was the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year back in 2016 as a member of the then Oakland Raiders, while he is also a six-time Pro Bowl selection. Now, after totaling 40 and a half sacks in his 4 years with the Raiders, Mack was traded to the Bears in 2018 in a deal that included the silver and black receiving a pair of first round picks. But things never came together for Mack with the Bears as he saw his fair share of double and triple teams, while the team's offense on top of that was in shambles. Now, Mack only tallied, and I say only because of the caliber of player that he is expected to be, but he only tallied 36 sacks in 4 years with the Bears. But now he joins a Chargers defense that includes Pro Bowl defensive end Joey Bosa. And with that said, when you have these bookend pass rushers, the question is going to be, who do you double? Now, between Bosa and Mack, they have a combined 134 and a half sacks career wise between them. And I think something that Mack is definitely going to benefit from being with the Chargers is that, the Chargers played at 4-3. And Mack had his best seasons as a pass rusher, stat wise, when he's playing as a defensive end as opposed to a stand up outside rush linebacker in the Bears 34 defense. That is definitely one thing. But then when you have somebody offsetting you, the caliber of Bosa, it's going to make it very tough for those opposing offenses to figure out, okay, who do you really double in this situation? It's kind of like, you know what? Pick your poison. And, for me, when it's all said and done, the Chargers know that in order to win this division, you got to find a way to rush the passer. You think about Patrick Mahomes with Kansas City, Russell Wilson, who was just acquired by the Denver Broncos, Derek Carr with the Raiders. You got to find a way to put pressure on these guys. The Chargers only had 35 sacks last season, which was 21st in the NFL. That ain't going to get it done. And you look at it for what this has the potential to be for the Lightning Bolts. The Chargers got Mack for a song. A second round pick and a third round pick for a player of his caliber is insane as far as what it could be. So it's really low risk, potentially high reward for the Chargers in this one. And this adds to a solid off season so far for the Lightning Bolts because we saw them earlier this week sign wide receiver Mike Williams to an extension. And this is important because quarterback Justin Herbert, we've talked about the other quarterbacks in this division, but we haven't talked about Justin Herbert yet. He's still on his rookie deal. So now this is the opportunity for you to go all in as far as putting talent around him if you are the Chargers. Now, could Mac in 2022 be the Chargers version of Von Miller? And I say that because, you put Von Miller, granted the Rams defense was better than the Chargers defense, but nonetheless, you put Von Miller you put him on a defense that already had quality pass rushers, of course, Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd. So then it made it tougher for opposing offense to figure out, what, who are we going to try to stop? And of course, the rest is history for the Los Angeles Rams. So you have to wonder if Mac is on, if he can have that type of impact for the Chargers this season. You look at it, and you have to, and speaking of the offseason that the Chargers have had so far, you ask yourself, has the success of the Los Angeles Rams put some pressure on the Chargers? Now, after leaving San Diego and coming to LA, in 5 seasons, the Chargers have only made the playoffs once without a playoff win. And on the flip side, the team that they share SoFi Stadium with in the LA Rams. They're a perennial playoff team, and of course, now they will head into the 2022 NFL season as the defending champs. So the Chargers definitely don't want to get lost in the shuffle, and you got to go out there and make some impact moves that are going to get you over the hump because this team was so close to making the playoffs last year. They fell short, and of course, you have to wonder in that late season or week 18 loss, rather on the road to the Raiders, if they had a pass rusher, the with the type of ability that Khalil Mack does, would it have been a different story? And would that team have been to the playoffs? And the probably answers more than likely yes. So you look at it as a whole. The AFC West is going to be very tough, and all of the teams there are going to need to work on their pass rushers as well as their offensive line, and especially after this move right here by the Chargers, the Chiefs, Raiders, and Broncos are all going to have to make sure that their offensive lines are shored up. And we've seen that already because the Chiefs just used the franchise tag on Orlando Brown Jr. Because why? You have to protect Patrick Mahomes if you're the Chiefs, if you're going to be able to do anything. On top of that, you know what? Like this is showing, you got to find ways to get to the passer. And I think right now with this move, the Chargers are a step above the Chiefs, Broncos, and Raiders in regards to their ability to rush the passer, at least for now, heading into this upcoming season. Very exciting division in 2022. This AFC West will be. I talked about the quarterbacks last night. Of course, this is another facet of it right here. Nobody really saw this move coming, but it is done. And, on top of that, Von Miller teased about possibly coming back to play for the Denver Broncos in 2022 because remember, Von Miller didn't leave Denver on bad terms. He didn't want to leave. He was traded. It was never he was like he was an unhappy camper. He wanted to be a Bronco. And now that he went to the Rams, got another Super Bowl ring, and he's seeing what the Broncos are putting together after their acquisition of Russell Wilson. If you're Von Miller, maybe he wants to come back, quote unquote, home. So let's see what happens there. So, there's definitely star power. There's definitely going to be more star power in this division because guys are going to want to go to Denver and play with Mahomes. Guys want to go to Kansas City and play, pardon me, with the Denver and play with Russell Wilson, excuse me. Guys definitely want to go to Kansas City and play with Mahomes, going to LA to be in LA, number one, and then also playing with Justin Herbert. And then, of course, being on that Vegas strip with somebody like Derek Carr, as your quarterback. So there's plenty of excitement in this division. And this right here is just showing it once again. Didn't see this coming, but I think, having Khalil Mack back in the AFC West, got his career started with the Raiders, gets to face the silver and black 2 times a year. Granted, a lot of dynamics have changed for the Raiders since Khalil Mack last played there, but nonetheless, this is a big move for the Chargers. So them falling short of the postseason for head coach Brandon Staley this past season, now, you know what? The onus is on this team to go out there and get it done. You resign Mike Williams, you bring in Khalil Mack, and who's to say we don't know what else the Chargers are going to do this offseason. But nonetheless, the expectations have increased for this team. And let's see what the Chargers can do going forward in 2022. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.